Hey everyone, welcome to the Debbie Diaz Reporting Live podcast featuring the Vaginaz. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to give you a quick note for anyone that has a business, product, or a brand to promote. Stick around until the end of the show where I will give you a short 5-minute presentation on how you can become a sponsor for this podcast. With over 30,000 listeners and growing per episode and 3 episodes per week, you don't want to miss this opportunity to connect with a targeted audience and a passionate audience. So let's get the show on the road. You're listening to DDRL, Debbie Diaz Reporting Live podcast featuring the Vaginaz. Featuring the Vaginaz. Good day to the world. Good day to everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Debbie Diaz Reporting Live featuring the Vaginaz. And I am riding it solo today unless I have Candle come on. Candle, the AI from ChatGPT 4.0. She's been a little cray-cray lately, so I'm not sure if I want to bring her on today, but don't tell her I said that. She's listening anyway. And I love it when the anti-AI people are like, oh my gosh, like you realize that they are listening to everything you say and watching like everything you do. I'm like, yep, well, where? Like, yeah. Well, where are we going with this? I mean, what is the big deal? I understand privacy and everything like that, but like, what really is the big deal if your computer or if your television, your phone, they all have cameras on them, they're all smart devices. They're all at some point, the algorithms and everything, they're all watching everything, listening. I mean, unless you're on like a very popular list like the Kardashians or something, I'm pretty sure they're not really giving a shit about your stuff. They're just keeping it really like in your little bubble, to benefit you and your productivity. But, I'm no like Bill Gates right now or nothing, but whatever. Breaking Girl Code is the name of the game for the podcast series that we are doing. And basically, we are helping out the guys out there. I mean, this can go both ways. I mean, it's not just like gender, targeted, but, you got to start somewhere, right? So I'm tomboyish, right? I'm tomboyish, and I've always hung out with the guys. Always hung out with the guys. I hang out. I go hunting. I went hunting, fishing. I love fishing. I like to do outdoors things. Boating. All that. I love football. All that stuff. Go Steelers. So I'm just like, that's my thing. I hate getting my nails done, even though I do get them done. I do them myself. I don't get my hair done. I do my own. It's like I'm just like. Ugh, I missed a part of that girly girl stuff, I just missed a little bit of that category where like, I just don't give a shit to be all that girly girl, if I need to be, classy, I try to be classy all the time at times, but if I need to be more girlish, I could step it up, no problem. I know how to play that role, but my comfort zone is, more relaxed, pair of nice jeans, and a sweat and a hoodie or like, stuff like that. I'm more like laid back type of, dress up. But, designer all the way. I mean, I'm not saying my layback is like, Walmart. But I mean, it's just, I want to, I feel more like for empathy towards guys because I read a lot. I read constantly reading. And so reading is very good for enhancing your brain and like, making you more aware of things, giving you more insight, giving you more education. You always should just continuously educate yourself. It's just something you should just always constantly be in habit of doing. It takes 2 weeks to form a habit, people. So I read a lot of relationship savvy stuff. That's what I went to college for, everything. And it's like, I'm intrigued by the brain. I'm intrigued by the brain, the chemistry of it, what it sets off, like our body language, all of that stuff. I'm so like in tune to that. That's like walking my walk right there. And so I watch things, I monitor things and I analyze things and I'm keep really alert of my surroundings. I've always been that way. And I'm, in my head, I think about a lot of things and I think about, guys out there, like they're not like wired as us women, we they say that a man reacts better in his actions than his words. And a woman is the opposite of that. A woman reacts better with the words than her own actions because, we are wired differently. We're wired, more on the emotional side where like we're in tune to our feelings, where guys are not. They're a little bit like numb. It's, of that category. So I put myself in their position and I just realized, that being a female, I'm able to be in the groups and in the circles, and I am one, to hear and say and do what women think and how we act and stuff, and what goes on in our head and what we really are want to say but we don't say. Guys never get a chance to really like get in that world. There's some that get in there, that leak in there, but majority rules, that guys are kind of clueless when it comes to finding out what a woman really wants, what a woman really thinks, what he should do when she's doing this, how she should comfort her when she's crying, all those things. And these are things that actually come into a relationship further on that cause arguments, that cause tension, that cause separation. It could even, worst case scenario, cause breakups. And they are all preventable. They're all preventable if there is a little bit more communication in a different direction of their emotions and feelings, and being educated and awareness of these type of things. And so if you don't want to, take the time to educate yourself and learn and get taught some of the etiquette of a female and her emotional, sides, and you want to sit around and bitch and complain, and that you're single, and that the dating world sucks, and that the dating apps suck, and everything sucks, except for, a female sucking you, but like you want to complain about this, but yet you're not doing anything to help the situation either besides bitching. You're not helping yourself better yourself to understand why. I mean, obviously a pattern is repeating itself here. You're not getting the things you want out of life. You're not in a relationship. You're not finding your soulmate. You've given up. You're not, you lost the mojo to like really find what's out there for you. And you're just in this like rut, and you're just like trolling on, the apps, dating apps. You're trolling on porn. You're doing whatever. You're just whacking it off. You basically have like slumped yourself into this like almost depression. But it just takes a little bit of a fire to reignite, that spark. And it just takes someone's foot to shove it up your ass to get you going again in the world, to make you look at life in a different view, make you look at the situation in a different view, make you look at women in a different view. I mean, it's just a matter of educating yourself. And that's the purpose of Breaking Girl Code, is to educate you on, the inside scoop of what internally, women think, and like how we think, how we go about things. And maybe you would just sit there and absorb this information and use it to your benefit to pursue someone that could be your soulmate. It could be your perfect match, your one and only, your true love, and fall in love and have babies all over the place. And I mean, let's not go that far, but like I hear the word baby and I'm like, ah! I just want to like I cringe. Like my body goes into it shrivels up. Like it's like, ah! Like I don't even want to like be around a stroller. I don't even want thinking about a stroller in a car seat right now. I just like this like wall like hits my head, my brain. It just goes like boom. Like I don't even, it just makes my whole body just turn into a different like temperature. I don't know, like it's not a good one either. But I'm just so glad to be out of that. No pun intended to anybody out there who's baby making or trying to make babies or having babies. Go you, congratulations. But I did my time, bitch. I did my time. And you know what? I could sit back and stay away from it. That's all I gotta do. Yep. Have fun with that diaper changing process. It just feels good when it's like I like just got out of prison, and I did my all my years, my decades for my crime, and like I could sit back and like be proud that I got through that era and I'm out and I'm free. It's like, but then I'm an empty nest syndrome kind of thing. So it's like, hey, peace and serenity again, so it's like a win-win, winner, chicken dinner. So a lot of things, and like I'll get to like my story too about my history of dating and all that as as we go on with the show. I mean, there's nothing really for me to hide about it. I mean, I have a basic, not a basic, but my story is from my past of my relationships, and how I have been handling it is I got married at a young age. I mean, I'm from up north in Pennsylvania, and I got married to someone that I was working with, and that's how we met, and we were together. I wouldn't say that I was 19. I think it was 19, yeah. And then we got married in Las Vegas, one of those little Elvis, little chapel type of like, weddings. It was really cool though. It was really nice. And then I think I got pregnant before that. Yeah, I got pregnant before that with our first son, Nathan. And so that was 2002. So I was like 21 or something like that. I think, yeah, 21, 22, somewhere around there. So anyway, I came down to Florida for vacation, and was down here for like 3 weeks, just loving the sun. 'Cause up in Pennsylvania, just miserable up there. It is gray clouds. It is snow, black ice. It's just, all you do is like graduate from schools there, get married, go to bars, go to the malls, and shit out kids. That's basically like all my memory is of that place. But anyway, I moved down here. I came down here for like 3 weeks vacation, and I had my son was with me and my ex-husband at the time, and I just fell in love with Florida. I was like, this is it. This is it. I am not going back to that hellhole. I'm moving down here, period. So went back to Pennsylvania and moved back down here within like 6 weeks. I was got a house, everything. We were down here like bada bing, bada boom. And then we were he traveled a lot and all that, and I was like here adjusting to a new life. And so basically it just fell apart. Our relationship just fell apart, and I got divorced. We had another kid in between before that divorce too. And we got divorced, and then that was really ugly. And then we got and then I was on my own. I was on my own with the kids, and he was kind of an absent father for my majority of their lives, as their childhood lives. And so I did the single mom thing, and then I met, I don't recall like how much I dated or anything in between. I had like two major like relationships. I was in that one, a marriage, and then I had an engagement after that with my other son's father. And we lasted for a good chunk of years. We're still like best friends to this day. We co-parent 100%. I was just in his wedding, or at his wedding, with his beautiful wife, Liz. Congratulations to them at their house a few weeks ago. And so we have an awesome relationship. That relationship is the best. I mean, I can brag about that co-parenting relationship all day long, because it is something you should be jealous of, because it really is. I mean, we have a really good bond, just between him and his wife, and myself and our son, and the boy and the rest of the boys. So we were together, and then after that, I had like relationships like from that point. I was not engaged again. I've been asked a few times. I've been asked so much times to marry people. I'm like, you crazy? It's kind of like college. I feel like, you don't really need a piece of paper to validate who you are. It's kind of like marriage. I don't feel like you need like a piece of paper to validate a relationship. But that's just my opinion. But I had a few other relationships that lasted like a year and a half or something like that in between there. And other than that, I learned a long time ago, like, not to be this relationship hopper type of chick. I learned that, it's okay to have a break, have some space. It's okay to be alone. It's okay to find yourself. It's okay to like take a breather. It's okay to go out and be a hoe if you want to. It's okay. It's sow your royal oats if you want to, only if you want to. So I just, just do my thing. I learned a lot of lessons along my life when it comes to my, independence and my, like what I want and who I want around me. I've made horrible decisions about, relationships and friendships and a lot of businesses. I made a lot of horrible mistakes, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I'm not afraid to admit it either. But I'm built from every mistake I've made. So, everybody that has been placed in my path, obviously there was a purpose and a lesson that I learned from each one. Some have lasted, some have not. Some got, burned out, some got, I got burned out, So it was just like I look at every situation as a life lesson no matter what. And I always find a positive out of every negative no matter what. Because how else should you look at things? Negatively, like in a sorrow and then put yourself in your own depression? No thanks. That's not how I think. That's not how I wired myself. So you can rewire your own self. You just have to do it. You just got to do it and stick with it and believe in it and believe in yourself. So, I mean, I wouldn't say that I am the most stable person on earth. I'm not. I'm far from that. So I just don't have a lot, in me right to these days to focus on a relationship right now, because I look at it this way. Relationships, yeah, there could be that solid person out there that's probably maybe in another country. Who knows where that person is? But as far as right now, I don't see them. They're not around me, and I'm not really trying to look for them right now. But it doesn't mean I can't help other people, based upon from my experiences and my knowledge, help them pursue. Because I know I know a lot of fucking people. I know tons of people, tons and tons of people. And if I don't know them, I'll go meet them. I'm that type. I'm a mingler. I'm a jingler, mingler, fingler. I'm a networker. I'm that butterfly social person that is always friendly and nice to talk to people. That's just how I am. So people gravitate to me, and they always want to find out about me. They want to know who I am. They want to date me. They want to fuck me, all that good stuff. But, I had to learn, a balance with that too. I had to learn whoa, at first I didn't really realize that my personality was so gravitating to a lot of people. And, having a positive personality and you just look like a bubbly person, it's very attractive. It's attractive more so than even your looks. Everybody always tells me, oh, you're so beautiful. I thank you. I am very humble with the compliments. I really am. I mean, it is a gift to get a compliment, and I really do take those gifts, to heart. And I don't like to be oh my gosh, I can't even say it. Complimented. It just makes me feel a little weird. It does. But I do appreciate it. I am humble, and I am aware that I'm attractive. I try hard to keep my MILF stats, keep my MILF stats in check. But, it's a standard I made for myself. But I think my personality and my who I am and how I think and how I operate in the world is more humbling and more beautiful than my looks. And that's how I look at things. I have a beautiful personality. It's very bipolar at times, I am hot and cold, but come on, people, who isn't? We all have our moments. We all have. I'm just more expressive with mine. A lot of people are more silent with theirs. I've tried that silent card, kill them with silence and kindness. And I've tried that. I still try it. It's so hard for me to remain silent when I have something to say, and it's very important for me to get off my chest. Otherwise, it's like a burning bridge in my chest. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I need to tell this motherfucker what's really on my mind, and it will eat at me until I say it. It'll be like, I can't help it that I'm like that. That's just my personality. Welcome to extrovert land. So times 2, and ADHD. So I just, I speak my mind, and I just can't do the quietness. So therefore I end up, in a lot of sticky situations. I end up in these accusations a lot. I end up being the punching bag for a lot of people and a lot of insecure, narcissistic assholes. A lot of people like to twist shit around and point fingers to justify their own actions onto other people that didn't have any involvement and stuff, or are viewed in a different light, than they really are trying to pursue. So it's kind of a catch-22, a double-edged sword when you have my type of personality, because it's beautiful, it's refreshing, it's gravitating, and it's sexual, it's fun, it's it's enlightening, but then it also comes with the curse, it comes with, a baggage of shit that you have to deal with. It literally does. So I can understand how my personality can attract a lot of people. So when I first discovered that it was doing that, I was like, whoa, I'm exhausted all the time. I'm exhausted all the time from constantly having people, around me. I need some me time. I didn't even know what me time meant. So I've had a lot of ups and downs when it comes to relationships, and I haven't really taken them serious at one point. And then I did take them serious. I never really relied on the dating apps. I'm not a fan of them. I am on some of them, I think. I'm pretty sure yeah. Once you're on them, I think you're on them, right? Like you're just on them. I don't know, even know. I'm sure I'm on Bumble. I'm sure I'm out there. Like definitely. I haven't checked it in years or something, but I just don't find that as a source of wanting to find somebody. I mean, not knocking it to anybody. It is a means of communication for a lot of people to meet, obviously. But it's just something that I find a little on the I don't really trust it type of thing. I don't really trust it because the dynamic of it is, hey, you're gonna. It's like I feel like it's you're on The Bachelor, like you're on a show, The Bachelor, where you are the female and you've got 30 dudes to choose from. You gotta like you're all staying in one house and you gotta like eliminate some throughout the show, and then you gotta like kiss and make out and have sex with randos in the house, and then just to determine at the end of the day the last one that is surviving, the survivor of the group, and that's supposed to be your true love. It's like, I don't know how I would feel if put in that situation. I guess I'm a little territorial. I'm a little, not jealous. I'm territorial, very much so. Like if I'm going to piss on my, my grass and this is my area, don't touch my area. Don't get in my area. I'm possessive almost in a way, but like not possessive, like not possessive psycho. Like I'm just possessive of my territory, like what's mine, it's mine, so both parties have to agree. I mean, it's just making sure that no one damages my property. That's just how I don't think there's anything wrong with having a little possessiveness, but not psycho possessive. Let's not go cray cray here. So let's not take things out of context, people. Keep it in check. So therefore, I've kind of been a free spirit. I have a lot of girlfriends too, so I've always been in those groups where we go out and party, have wine night, have girls boating night, So I didn't really have a real drive to be in a relationship, and I've always been independent as far as like my career and stuff. So I learned to be independent and be on my own, and therefore I didn't need a relationship for that matter. I wanted a relationship just for the sex, I guess. I mean, I guess that's lust, but I mean, I could get that without having a relationship as well. So it was like I had no real purpose to have a relationship besides, when I'm bored or something. And so therefore I didn't pursue one. But that's just my story. It's my story. And now I'm kind of still in that boat. When I meet like a guy that I date or something for a while, it's usually we meet through a friend or I meet out somewhere at an event. Or, I like those kind of casual encounters where that's how I meet someone. Like you accidentally cross paths or something. I don't like to be, I don't allow anyone to, pressure me into dating this or anything like that. If I don't feel the vibe off of your photo or off of how we're, the communication stuff, I'm going to be blunt and say, look, I appreciate you reaching out to me. And, I have no problem. Like, I'd love to continue being your friend and we can chat and stuff. We can network, we can collab, but I'm just not seeing it. I just don't feel an interest level as far as like a connection. And I know that's hard to say, and it's a hard pill to swallow, and it's a hard phrase and thing to accept. And it does kind of like make you feel like shit a little bit when you hear something like that. But in reality, we all want everybody to be real, right? Real, raw, and rare. And we want everybody to not, speak the truth and be truthful. So when you get the medicine, like don't be pissed off, when you got to swallow the pill, because it's like you're getting what you ask for, but then you want to bitch when you get it, So embrace the fact that somebody's being honest with you. When a female is being honest with you and she's telling you the truth, don't bite her head off. Don't be a dick. Just accept the fact that she's being real, raw, and rare to you, and she's not wasting your time. So that's how you got to look at things, if a female, and don't give up the hope of like finding a true love. Just because somebody, doesn't have a love interest in you in that way, or doesn't feel a connection with you right off the bat, doesn't mean you have to end the relationship with them. It doesn't mean you have to, bye, see you later, never know you again. No, it doesn't. It just means that there wasn't a connection in that department. There's still other avenues. There's still other relationships you can carry with that individual. Just don't be a creepy fuck and, stalk them at night and be a pedophile looking, chomo driving, ice cream truck van looking fucker. That's all you got to avoid. So, as soon as you put any of that creepy stuff on, us females, us vaginas, we can smell that. We're like those police dog sniffing things where Dobermans, we could smell that creepiness from a mile away. So if we smell any of that like creepiness, stalker shit coming on, we put those heels in the sand, bitch, and we like back away and get the fuck away from you. Block. So, I mean, that's the only way you really ruin, having a quote unquote relationship with that person. If there's no love connection, you can have a networking collection. You could be like affiliate marketing team and collab on a project together that makes money. You can you can have friendships. You could do a sporting event with you, go to football. I mean, there's all kinds of things. And who knows? Maybe those little like adventures could blossom into something down the road. You never know. You never know how an emotion or a connection could change over time if you nurture it the right way. If you go at it though all creepy and stalkerish, you might as well just fucking pack your bags and go home, bitch. Because us vaginas, like I said, we can smell that. And we will tell each other too. We will warn each other. We will give a red alert to each other. Women communicate very well. That's where guys forget, is that us vaginas, we may not communicate well to y'all, but we communicate to each other pretty well. We don't even need to explain some shit. We understand body language, we understand tone, we understand all that shit. We're like psychic mediums to each other. Like we have this own like Morse code going on where we should just look at each other. I can raise my eyebrow and just like look at a bitch and she understands what I'm saying. That type of thing. But we refuse to have that connection with y'all because, we got to keep them separated. So it's like, nothing personal. I mean, it kind of is. It's kind of personal. But try that too. I mean, like, come at women and don't over invite, over stalk, and over message. If I get a million messages, I do get a million messages. And like I said, I try to always respond back as much as I possibly can. And I'm not trying to be rude. I mean, I love responding. But then it's like so engaging. I mean, people want to engage with me, with anybody in general. That's how you talk, right? But I'm kind of like, when I chime in, I chime in and I just wanted you to know that I recognize your message and I am acknowledging it and I am responding to it. But I'm not looking to have this like full throttle dialogue over email or over text message or something. I'm not looking to do that. I'm just like in here just to acknowledge that I acknowledge you and that carry on with your day. Like, have a nice day. We'll talk again when it's convenient for you and it's convenient for me, but don't overdo it. When you overdo it, that's a red flag. That's creepy stalker coming in. And then I'm going to back away. You see what I'm saying? Like you give an inch and you take a mile. We're going to put the brakes on and we're going to just ghost you because we sense, and once again, that's another sensory. I could smell it. Nobody wants to be like overly bugged, about it. You got to learn to have patience and you got to learn to have, time to adjust to something. If you're in a rush and you want to just get shit going and get married tomorrow, then go find that bitch that likes to do the same rush thing. Because majority of us are not in that rush. We are not in any rush. We are going to be in observation mode for a while, and that's, just for our own protection. So I will, that's the sad part though about responding back to, guys when they message me is when they are like buggy, they're buggy and they're just constantly like, hello, question mark, hello. Oh, I take it you're busy. Oh, you're too, this sarcasm responses, like, oh, well, I guess you just don't have time for dating after all. All those comments is like, bye, Felicia. I don't even want to, I'm not even acknowledging, I'm not even going to read the rest of this shit because it's it's just bullshit that's immature and that I don't need in my life. I don't want to talk to somebody that has to be ignorant like that to me from the start, so it's like, if you can't understand and you already know I'm a podcaster, I'm a social media influencer, I'm like, marketing, B2B, all that stuff. And so I'm a busy chick online. There's only so many goddamn days or goddamn hours in a day. I have to have like some sleep. I got to eat some food. I got to take a shower. There's all kinds of shit that I have to do besides sit there and wait for you to respond so I can spend hours, wasting time doing a dialogue that I care not to have. I don't like to be asked, and I'm speaking for a chunk of like vaginas out there. When you message a vagina and go back and forth, there actually isn't a lot of back and forth with me. Like, I am to the point, I am like blunt point when it comes to dialogues over DMs and stuff. I want to just say, hey, what's up? Okay, you want to go and ask me out dinner or lunch or breakfast or whatever, a movie, whatever. And then I'll, get the message and I will read it. And then if I'm available or if I want to, or if I, have a question about it, I will respond with that. But other than that, I'm not going to go into detail about, oh, all these questions about these 50 questions. Where are you from? How many kids you have? Have you ever been married? Are you single? What are you doing over here? What's this over here? Where are you from? What are you doing right now? Where do you live now? I'm not going to go down that road. I know majority of females are not interested in having this full-fledged personal dialogue over DMs. I mean, I understand there's a point where you ask the questions to just get to a point of getting to know the person, but that's what a profile is for, bitch. Make sure you detail your profile and put in there some of the shit that you want the other person to know about so you can avoid having this full throttle, get to know each other, conversation that just wastes a lot of time. I'm just about, I use the DMs and text messaging as bang, 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 bang. I'm not sitting here writing novels. I'm not sitting here I use it for directional purpose and scheduling purposes, and sometimes bitching, So, but very brief. So nobody likes those long fucking books, the novels. Don't send me one. Don't send me an email about it. Don't send me a text message about it. I won't read it. I will not read it. It gives me anxiety. It gives me literally gives me anxiety when I see those. I'm like, oh, hell no. Because you know what I think in my head? I think in my head, that novel that this person just sent me is filled with nothing but bullshit. It's bullshit or drama, and I don't want to read it and be involved. And I don't want it processing through my brain. That's how I feel. My brain was doing good before I got that message, and it's going to stay good even after that message because I'm not going to read it. And it's, nothing personal. It is kind of personal, but it's not. It's it's my standards. You have your standards. I have my standards. This is how I like to do my life. That's how you like to do your life. Then guess what? I'm not the right person for you to send those messages to. You should probably find somebody else that likes to read those long ass text messages and go hang out with them because I'm not your chick. So if you can't handle my bluntness and you can't handle my realness, I'm sorry. I'm not going to cradle things for you. I'm not going to do you want some cheese with your wine? I'm not going to do that because it's not my responsibility. You're a grown ass adult. I'm a grown ass adult. I'm going to do me. You do you. Period. Point blank. Check. Move on. Mic drop. So, I mean, it's easier to be very blunt and very, forward and just assertive with your decisions and how you want to be and how you want to do things from the beginning so that you don't have to backtrack after the honeymoon phase, and after the butterflies have settled down a little bit and stuff and the weak in the knees, you don't have to backtrack and, add on, some boundaries that you have when you've already kind of past that phase to kind of, add boundaries in. I mean, you can always add them along the way a little bit, but it's better to always be yourself in the beginning where you present, your boundaries so that they are already placed in the beginning. Going forward, you don't have to worry about, them fucking up. So it's I know a lot of us we're not perfect. We're not perfect. So there are a few of you out there that think you are. I know you are, but guess what, buddies? You're not perfect, bitch. So it's it's hard to sometimes lay out your boundaries when you need to express them when an event happens. When there's a situation that occurs that reminds you of your boundary, that's when you proclaim it or express it to the other person. Oh, hey, by the way, I just noticed you walked in my house with your shoes on. Yeah, I didn't really think about it until I saw you doing it. But that's actually a rule in my house. I don't want you walking in here with shoes on, or nobody walks in here with shoes on. Can you please remove your shoes when you come into my home? And oh yeah, no, my bad. I didn't know. I mean, it's okay. I didn't tell you yet because I wasn't in a situation where I remembered or recalled that boundary I had. So things like that do happen where you don't really remember a certain boundary because you haven't been in a situation to remind yourself about it yet. That's totally understandable. But, when you do get to that point, make sure you calmly talk about it and not be a bitch about it. Don't be accusational and don't be, confronting someone like they murdered someone or did a crime. It's all about your approach and how you approach someone on a situation. So if you come at someone, just come at them normal, just be like, hey, just be real. Just be like, oh, hey, I just want to let you know, I know you got your shoes on in the living room and stuff, but I really have a house rule for everybody. I forgot to tell you the other month because we haven't really been at my house that much. And so I'm OCD. I don't like any shoes on in the house. So do you mind taking, oh, yeah, I'll take my shoes off. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Now I know. And then boom, you solved a situation from like exploding to a bigger situation, and you saved your mental health too. So, and then he understands, or she, that you have a boundary or house rule, whichever one that, could be under it, that you don't want your shoes on. Now, going forward, if fucker keeps putting his shoes on, coming in your house and like forgetting about your boundary, then we have a problem. That's where boundaries get crossed, is when disrespect kicks in from a guy or girl, when you have expressed your boundaries and they are not respecting them. That is just a minor situation example that I gave about walking in with shoes on. And think about if that's on a much, much more emotional, higher level of a, boundary that you have and it gets crossed. I mean, that's some damaging shit right there. That's a relationship damaging, type of shit that could happen and ruin a relationship for good. So, I mean, be careful when you hear boundaries and you hear a vagina telling you, expressing her boundaries, she's opening up to you about her boundaries. I mean, that means she's letting the guard down a little bit. She put the crank in and she cranked the guard to come down a few cranks when she's telling you about her boundaries. I mean, when a vagina tells you about her boundaries, she's kind of like giving you a green flag to say, hey, this relationship kind of has a possibility going on here. It's kind of flowing because I'm now telling you some boundaries. And so everybody thinks that sometimes boundaries are a negative thing to throw at someone, but they're not. I mean, they actually set your relationship up for success versus failure. And, and just domestic violence. I mean, vicious cycles of violence that repeat themselves. So if you set, the boundaries and you are expressing them to a gentleman, guys, that means, that she's looking at you in a deeper level. You're not officially in, I wouldn't say, but like you are past phase A little bit, I'm not saying you're doing a home run or I don't know, but I'm just saying you're past phase A, when boundaries are being expressed. So, I mean, if you think about it, a boundary is something that you don't want done again in the future, so that's actually kind of like, projected future thinking, like when they say in a relationship or when you're dating someone and you're not really sure the direction of how the relationship's going, or you're kind of like, you're in limbo, but you don't want to ask about it because you don't want to like look like you're desperate, or you don't want to look vulnerable. You don't want to, look like you're that chick or that guy that has to be like, so are we boyfriend, girlfriend? Or like, what's the stat? You don't want to be like that one, right? It's like a pride thing. But like when somebody says in the relationship, oh my gosh, like I love going to Puerto Rico. We should go next summer. Let's plan a trip that, next summer. That is, projected planning. That's projected planning, which means that person is thinking of you for a little bit of a long term here, at least till next summer. They're anticipating a plan with you for the following summer, which that means that's a whole fucking year, bitch. So that means they're looking at this relationship a little bit more serious. So these are some psychological little tips, as well to think about when you have conversations with, whoever you're dating or whoever you're trying to date. There is a lot that can be told, said, heard, and felt just based off of a conversation that a female can have with you. She could be just talking to you about a story about her past, and it leads into her, ending it with, by the way, I can't wait for you to meet my parents, or I can't wait for you to meet my sister or my brother. So that story that she told, she just told you a little bit about her past, which means she's opening up, cranking that guard down a little bit more again. When we talk about, our family or our past and stuff, we are opening up, so these are little things you need to take notice of and really like appreciate that these are different phases of a relationship psychologically. and pay attention to them. Be aware of them, because these mean things. They mean things, and they tell you things that you don't have to be insecure about, or you don't have to worry or wonder about. Like, you're getting your own answers to questions you may have about the stability of the relationship, based upon the stories that she will tell you and the things that she will say. So you just have to pay attention and think outside the box. Think, like, outside the vagina box, and pay attention to these little tips. So if she's telling you a story about of her past, of like something that happened in her childhood, and then she ends it with, "Oh wait, my sister and brother are a trip. I can't wait for you to meet them." Boom, that's a projected plan. So she is once again saying to you, "Hey, buddy, I just put my guard down a little bit more, because I told you about a personal, intimate, situation of my past, my childhood, and now I just, made a comment that can't wait for you to meet members of my family." That means she likes you. She likes you. She is like enjoying the relationship so far. You're probably in phase B now, because, she wants you to meet a family member. A family member, you know, invite and meeting them is like a huge deal. That means you are meeting the blueprint of her. You're meeting a piece of the blueprint. So a bitch ain't gonna bring you around anybody in her blueprints if you are a loose cannon, if you are a temporary thing, if you are a hit it and quit it, if you are a bye Felicia. She's not gonna bring you around any of that static at all. She's going to actually dodge it. She's going to avoid it. She's going to keep you clear. She ain't talking shit about your name. Nobody. You ain't a topic at the dinner table. Nothing. So, I mean, there's no way, she's going to cross those two if she didn't already think of you on another level. So, once again, this is another, psychological, approach to thinking about how your relationship is blossoming. There's like tons and tons of ways that you can, analyze conversation and mix that in with body language and eye contact and stuff that can tell you a lot of answers to insecurities you may have or doubt you may have about a relationship. And the worst thing you want to do is show a female that you're insecure and that you are this little bitch. You always want to keep your man status. You always want to like keep that, me man, me always man. You want to keep that with the boundaries and with being a gentleman and not being psycho and all that stuff. You got a lot of shit. You got to write this shit down, bitch. You got to pay attention to this. You got to manifest this. You got to repeat it to yourself so that you get it in your dome and you act upon it and and do it. So it's just not going to do good sitting there on the paper. You got to actually take what you wrote down and listen and learn and bring it into play. So if you actually do that, you can learn and start paying attention to things you never paid attention to before. And maybe you will get more answers to your own questions that you analyze in your head about her. If you're head over heels, feeling in love with her already, and like the chemistry's there, you feel it, but you don't want her to know that you feel that way because you want to like not look like the little pussy bitch. We don't look at you that way like that. I mean, sometimes we do. But in these situations, we don't look at you in that manner as a pussy bitch when you want to say, "I'm in love with you" or something. I mean, if it's a little too soon in the game, I mean, you might want to like feel that one out. But we like to hear that stuff, in the beginning like that. We like to hear confirmation too. We don't like to look like a vulnerable bitch either. We don't want to show you that side at all. But we do want to hear confirmation of how you feel the relationship is going as well. It's kind of like a head game that the male and female like play with each other. You kind of do this like sociopath shit with each other. You're like, oh, okay, bitch, like who's gonna be the first one to spill the beans? Who's gonna be the weaker one of the group? Like who's gonna be it? And it's really not, that's a bad way to look at it. And even though that is kind of how we look at it, you don't want to be like, hey, the first one to say I love you, or that, that's, because it makes you look vulnerable and stuff. But we like that. We love when a guy feels ready to say I love you, because we've been ready for it all along. We are ready to just say those fucking words, but we don't want to. It's not our role. It's not our job. It's not our place. I mean, yeah, you can. Women do. I mean, I don't think I ever have. I don't remember. But would I? I mean, yeah, I probably would if I felt, no, I probably wouldn't. I mean, I I think I fall into that category of I would like to have the guy say it first, because then it makes you feel not so emotionally vulnerable if he's not feeling that way yet. Like, you kind of already know where it stands then. If you're feeling it and he's not, that's kind of a big letdown. You're kind of like, whoa, like, we're not on the same level. Like, we're not feeling the same vibe at the same time. Like, this relationship is a little fucked. Like, why am I feeling like I love him and he's not feeling like he loves me yet? Like, where's the disconnect? Are we not meant for each other? Am I feeling chemistry and he's feeling lust? Like, what's going on here? Like, that's when all those thoughts start going in your head and you start overanalyzing. So at the end of the day, when in doubt, as from a guy's, for a guy's perspective to, in a relationship, fresh, if you're feeling the vibes of you love her and stuff, I mean, it's okay to tell her that. It's okay, because it's more so if a guy says it first and the woman doesn't say yet. I mean, she may be bashful about it. She may be shy or just playing a little bit hard to get just for a cute chase. But I mean, when a female is saying it first and a guy doesn't respond, that's more devastating than the other way around, if you feel me. Like, you feel me on that? So us women don't want to be put in that situation at all. And if you put us in that situation, we're going to be like fucking devastated. We're going to be like, oh my God. And it actually leaves a little like soft red flag on the relationship of damage. So there is a little damage, and you don't want to have any damages, any red flags. You don't want to have any of that shit in like the first 3 months of the honeymoon. Like, the honeymoon can last forever too. So I hate using that phrase, because it's not just like a honeymoon phase. I mean, you can have a honeymoon phase your whole entire relationship. I would say that the probation period of like 3 months is usually the solid, time to really figure out like what's going on with some chemistry. Are we connected? Are we sexually connected? Are we vibing? Like, what's going on? And you should be able to determine that before the 3 months, honestly. So, I mean, don't go putting 3 months on the calendar, but like, listen, bitch, you got to stick with me for 3 months and see if we're compatible, and if not at 3 months, then we can depart. But until then, you're stuck with me, bitch. If you're not feeling the vibe in month 1, get the fuck out of there. I mean, like, why waste time? Move on to the next one. There's other fish in the motherfucking sea, and there's plenty of them, because like 50% of the state's population is single at this point. I mean, but I wanted to read something too, to also give you a little inside scoop. This is kind of a deep topic for today that I brought up, but I mean, it started out with me talking about my relationships and stuff in it, but I mean, the whole moral of the story of my relationships is I just, I'm a different breed, more so than the breed that's looking for relationships. Like, if you're on a mission to find that your partner, then stay on that mission. Like, I'm not on that mission, but I'm not against joining the mission, if that makes sense. So my effort level is not where your effort level is. My effort level is kind of blasé. Your effort level is like bang, 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 bang. Do you see the difference? So if you're coming at me, you're on a mission and I'm on blasé, obviously I'm not going to give you back what you're trying to receive. And you need to understand the difference in the two worlds there too. So if you are on this mission, you need to find another bitch that's on a mission. Because if you find a bitch that's blasé like me, it's not gonna like be a good, back and forth compatibility. I'm gonna be a little bit more chill. You're gonna be like bang, 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 and like I'm not gonna like that, and you're not gonna like my blasé. So it's not gonna start out good from the get-go. You feel me? You feel me? But I was on one of the groups that I'm in. This was a female group that I chimed in on, and I went into the rabbit hole, and I was reading, because it was just so captivating to me and shocking about what I was reading. And the women in here are feeling like the dudes too. I mean, like, they're feeling like relationships are blah. They're feeling like, they're feeling like men have like turned into just these sex whores that just want their bodies. And I'm reading this like, wow. I mean, like, a huge response of women, a big, huge chunk of women, and they were all agreeing with each other, and they were all giving stories and saying, how like relationships are just not the same. They'd rather sit at home and be happy and content and jerk off with their toys than be with a man and have sex. Honestly, this one, I'll read a few of the responses. This is from a Vaginaz we'll call her Vagina A. She said, honestly, that's how I feel right now. I just don't care about any man's attention or being involved with anyone. I have so much going on in my work and school, like that I just don't have the energy or effort. Another one said, I only desire when I ovulate. That's involuntarily. That's kind of a joke, like, it's a female joke. I'm 58 years old and I've been single for a year and a half. Never been happier in my life. No one can date me better than I can date myself. Another vagina said, absolutely. My only exception is Sam Hewen. And I don't even know what that means. Maybe I missed the boat on that one. I have been dating on and off since 2017. I'm finally here. Thank you for sharing this information. And then another one said, yep, besides, I don't have to fake it with Bob. LOL, it's a sure thing. And if you don't know what Bob is by now, people, battery operated boyfriend, it's a dildo, So she basically is saying that, she gets it better with her Bob than she does with a real dick. And just to reiterate a little bit of some anatomy of the body, and the genitalias, factual stuff here, people. The females, when they have intercourse, there's only 20% of females have an orgasm, okay? So let's think about this before you ball bust your chick about having some adult toys and some dildos and some vibrators in her drawer, and go throw them $120 fucking bitches away. They're expensive as fuck. She's not replacing your penis when she uses a vibrator, okay? The clitoris is in a totally different section than where the penis goes insertion, okay? So only 20% of women have orgasms through intercourse, okay? So let's just sit back here and let that sink in again. Want me repeat it? 20% of women have orgasms through intercourse, okay? Because the clitoris cannot be touched from where the penis goes in. Therefore, it's not getting stimulated, and that is where we have our orgasms. Makes sense? Makes sense. So you see why the vibrator doesn't replace the dick? It doesn't, because the vibrator is on the clitoris. That is nowhere near the hole for the dick. I mean, am I the only one that knew this, like, late in life? I mean, I just finally figured this out. I mean, actually, I didn't even figure it out. I happened to be watching a podcast that talked about it, and I was listening and I heard it and I was like, holy shit. All my life, I have never known that. Like, it's sad. It's sad that there's so much shit about the body that I'm learning in this like era of my life now that I should have maybe learned back in like high school, but I just now am learning like the clitoris is not connected to the hole where the penis goes, and it cannot stimulate the clitoris. So therefore, people, let's do some little like imaginary science here. That means that the clitoris needs to be stimulated for a vagina to have an orgasm. So therefore, if you're not doing something with the clitoris, she's going to need to do something with it, and therefore she needs a vibrator. So run and tell that bitch. So I'm going to read another comment here. I mean, that's some shocking shit. I still think about that every day. I think I flash to it. I'm like, man, all these times I got ball busted for having a vibrator, and fucking they went hidden, or they went disappeared, and like, dudes that are insecure, hate the vibrator because they think you're replacing the dick, and all of those times that I could have thrown these facts, these bodily facts at them, but I didn't know. I was like, oh my God, it's not replacing you. I had to like get in an argument, defend my vibrators, hide them, put them in a lockbox, so they damage, disappear in the middle of the night, like because somebody was insecure about it, vibrator, so it's just like, if I would have known some shit that I know now back then, who would have known? Who would have thunk? So here's another one. And honestly, I'm not upset about, the comment was, anyone feel so turned off by men that you're not attracted to anyone. You have zero interest in dating and absolutely no desire for sex. You guys, do you hear that? No desire even for sex. Like, that is a vagina posting that. And there was a million fucking other vaginas that responded to this with their views, and they all agreed with that comment. So that's kind of scary. That's kind of scary to think about how big of a problem this like whole relationship thing is turning out to be. So if you guys don't step up your motherfucking game and get your act together and get us vaginas back into the swing of things, then we're all going to stick together and we're going to boycott y'all and stick with our vibrators, because we don't need your dick anyway, because, you know, it doesn't touch our clitoris. Now that we know that, PSA, public service announcement. I'm going to put that on business cards. I'm like, yo, you need to know this fact right here. This shit right here. So, I mean, that's what the ladies are talking about in these private groups that you can't get in because you have a penis and we have vaginas. So, I mean, the women are just, you know, step up your game. I mean, like, be the one that breaks the ice and, like, changes our opinion, changes our mindset. Because women, you know, we stick together like birds of a feather. And if one tells the other one and we all agree, it keeps getting stronger and bigger and bigger. And soon, you know, we'll be a force to reckon with and we won't like any of y'all. You know, so it's just like, you know, somebody's got to make a change. I think somebody's, you know, so I think all y'all penises need to stick together and like help each other learn, you know, listen to the Debbie Diaz Reporting Live podcast, subscribe to the show, share it to everybody, and learn from these tips and these inside scoops that I am giving you, because this is like valuable, priceless information that can help change a lot of things. So I'll do one more on here. It says, a lot of these bitches in here post anonymously anyway. My other two best girlfriends are in the same boat. We are all 45 years old. We're single. We're all off the apps and having the best time hanging out, focusing on ourselves and being drama free. Now, two of us do have side pieces. Wink, wink. But neither of them are local. They're in other areas. So we don't rearrange our schedules for them or interact with them on a daily. And I don't spend the night. I don't spend the night, only for a few hours every few weeks. Easy peasy. I've never been happier or more peaceful. She basically is just saying they use side dick and, you know, they go hit it and quit it when they want some dick. And then they go home and they carry on with their bad selves and they don't have to worry about relationships. Is that what you want, guys? Is that what you want us vaginas to think and do and carry? Is that what you want? Because that's looking like a thing here. So if you want us not to think that way, you got to step up your game and start making some changes here, because like we're going down a rabbit hole here. And like once we're down that rabbit hole, it takes us vaginas a while to get back up because we're very emotionally savvy. Okay, we're very emotional. Thanks for sticking around, and let me share how you can partner with us as a sponsor and take your business to the next level. Here's the deal. Debbie Diaz Reporting Live streams over 30,000 listeners per episode, and we release 3 episodes a week. That's over 90,000 opportunities to get your message heard by an engaged audience every single week. We offer a flexible ad placements, front, middle, or end spots, so you can pick what works best for your brand. You don't have an ad ready? No worries. I'll personally create a custom ad for you from script writing to voiceover to make sure it connects with our audience. If you want to go all in, check out our platinum package where you get premium ad placement, social media promotion, and a detailed report on ad performance. To get started, DebbieDiazReportingLive.com or email me directly at DebbieDiazReportingLive@gmail.com. Let's collaborate and make something amazing.